the chairs in my honour, and we talk about the other chairs that he's done in a similar manner, is that they aren't with us any longer. So why am I the only one that's trying to tell me something that I shouldn't be here? That I have brought my Olympic medals with me. Stuart's seen these before. Obviously, with the success of the games and a lot of gold medals that have been won by Britons, you could actually melt these down and put them all together, and they don't come up to the same size as the London 2012 one. But I always think volume is better than the actual size of the medal. So I'm happy for them to be handed around and being played. I'm no longer an athlete, but if I see anybody going to the door with them, I'm still certain I could catch them. But just be careful that on the box, it's not a Stewart Linford box. The clips are can be quite vicious. They're quite sharp. So just keep an eye on that itself. I love the chair. There is a secret compartment in it, isn't there, Stuart?
There is, yes, sorry. Yeah.
There is.
It's not so secret now, and it's got the certificate signed by Sir Steve in the compartment and space for all the medals, so all the winners' medals go in there. So he's got another place to put his medals.
But so thank you. As Stuart said, that we've had a great summer with the Jubilee to start with, which I got very wet on. Of rowing the Gloriana and the Queen's pageant, which was a great fun. Lots of questions I've had over the last few months is that did we really row it? Of course we really rowed it, but there were real engines on it as well. Because of the size of the boat, it's the first time that there's been a royal row barge built for 300 years, and the stateroom compartment is pretty big, and the rowers are in the bow section. So actually trying to turn the boat around is almost impossible, especially with the flood streams that we had around the time of the Jubilee. So it has two bow thrusters to help to turn the boat. While they were doing that, they put two little battery-packed propellers on the back as well. And once we got down to Tower Bridge, we still had to go to the O2, which is about the same distance again, which wasn't then on TV, of the coverage of it. Still a lot of distance to do. And all the little rowboats and man-powered boats, they were getting out at the bottom of the Isle of Dogs, which is where Poplar and Backwell District Rowing Club is, and it's the only opportunity they have of getting out there. So they all started racing. We couldn't manage with their speed. There was an Australian surf boat that caught up with us, started moving out in front, and they were sort of giving us a little bit of abuse as they were going on, because we're 18 oars. We did have 50 people on board though. And somebody came out with a tray of cupcakes. True rowers, we stopped rowing, ate the cupcakes, the engines came on, we went past the surf boat. Moving on to the Summer Olympics. When you talk about the success of the team that we had, it was immense. 29 gold medals. I had very high expectations on the organisation, how the team would perform, and on a number of different areas. And to win 29 was pretty special. Now, to sum that up, the 5 summer games that I've competed at, if you put all the British gold medals together, it totals to 27. So that's how successful the British team was this time around. I had great fun in the mornings of watching the rowers down at Dorney, not too far away from here, doing their escapades of searching for the medals that most of them won. And then straight after that I was going down into London as a team ambassador, looking after some of the royal parties, going to different sporting events, finishing sometimes very late at night, till 12:30 in the Olympic Park, and I'm back on air at 7 o'clock the next morning in Windsor. So sleep was a little bit of a struggle, and I think I was being a little bit looked probably a bit fatigued. Everyone said, no, you look fine. I don't believe them at all. But as we started getting into the medal days, we had 4 days of finals, is that because I know the rowers extremely well, not just the ones from our country, but some from the others, is that I was giving them all very big hugs. Catherine Granger, who has won 3 silver medals at 3 separate games, and then this one going on to win a gold. We're very close. And people were saying to me, when you were hugging you were holding her for a very long time. What were you saying to each other? We were both very emotional. We didn't say a word to each other. We were both trying to compose ourselves before doing the interviews on the TV. And then the second week I went around and saw some of the other sports. And I went down to the boxing and actually went to the finals of the women's boxing. And the atmosphere there was unbelievable. They talked about it on the TV before. And the British girl, Nicola, was boxing in the first bout first, and then the Irish girl was boxing in the second bout. The whole of the arena had been taken over by the Irish. Probably 95% of the 10,000 people in there were all wearing green. It was an amazing atmosphere. All credit to the Irish, they supported Nicola tremendously, but when Katie Taylor came out, they absolutely erupted. It was fantastic to be there. And we waited for the medals before then going on to Taekwondo, which was at the other side of the arena. As we were walking out of our row, and I was following the Princess Royal at that time, is the Irish comedian Dara O'Brien was there on the corner. He said, Steve, you're the king of hugs. Give me a hug. He was working for Irish radio, and so I've been nicknamed the King of Hugs from there, which everyone thinks is quite amusing, apart from my wife. I never hug her at all, so she's very jealous about that. But the games itself was absolutely amazing, really down to the games makers, the volunteers, the people that supported. Was just truly unbelievable of the time and effort they put into it. But second to none was the British public of supporting. Every stadium was full. The atmospheres were amazing. The British public really sort of endeared to what the athletes was doing, and that's for the summer games as well as the Paralympic games as well. And then other games I've been to of going into the athletic stadium in the mornings when they're having their qualifying. In the stadiums, a quarter full, if that. At London, it was 80,000 capacity every day. The atmosphere was amazing. When Mo Farah won his second gold medal at the 5,000 metres, I was there in the stadium. And sometimes you get the boredom and you get the Mexican wave that happens, and that happened at London as well, a number of the venues, and it's always quite fun. But actually when Mo was racing, the best way to describe it was a Mexican wave of noise. As if the athletes were running around, just in front of the main group was just this roar going right the way around the stadium for 13.5 laps. That was pretty incredible. And then the Paralympics happening, again I was in the stadium of when Dave Weir won the 800 and Johnny Peacock won the 100 metres. Again, the atmosphere was amazing. The 80,000 people shouting out Johnny Peacock's name as they're trying to get into the blocks. It was truly incredible sight. And that's down to the British public from that point of view. I'm now trying to take it a little bit easier. Turned 50 earlier this year, so I always planned to retire when I was 50. I can't quite afford to do that yet. But I'm certainly looking forward to the rest of the year, the celebrations of the athletes. We've got a very big homecoming in Marlow and Buckinghamshire for the Marlow and the Buckinghamshire athletes that have competed. I think that the rest of the year is going to be still pretty incredible, and I think that's going to set us up for 2013 and beyond. Sporting-wise, we've got a lot of fantastic sporting events coming. And being involved in the bid process for London 2012 and Paralympics is that we always said that the Games were, this is going to be the last time the Games come back to our country. Because 1948 was the last time that they were here. And the IOC members could be quite cynical at times, but they were actually blown away by the games makers, the crowds, the organisation that was done, and they were sort of dropping hints saying, well, why don't you bid a little bit earlier? We would certainly look upon of London being a host a little bit more recently than it has done in the past, which is a sort of a testament to how the games had gone. I think some of the organisers and the people from my side and the sporting side would be very enthusiastic about that. When the government heard this, they're saying, no, we can't afford to do it yet. We've got the infrastructure here already. We could probably do it in 4 years' time if Rio don't come up with the goods. But going back to today, thank you, Stewart, for honouring me this way. I have a number of Stewart's pieces at home, which Anne and I truly love. So thank you for your great carpentry chips and design and process. We sort of stumbled across Stewart. He had a display of his stuff in the centre of High Wycombe, and we picked up one of the leaflets and got in contact. And our dining room chairs and table is made by Stewart. Absolutely stunning work, as I'm sure you all agree, of being here. If it's the first time, I know there's many people who have got a lot of Stewart's stuff as well. But then, if you think back a few hundred years, is High Wycombe was the furniture capital of the country. Is that most of the furniture made was built here in High Wycombe. So there's a great heritage. Some of the companies still have head offices here, but very, very little furniture is built here in High Wycombe. And Stewart is sort of still forging through of keeping High Wycombe's name at the forefront of furniture building. So, Stewart, thank you very much.
Thank you. Absolutely splendid. Thank you very much, sir. I think we ought to drink a toast to Sir Steve Redgrave and the Sir Steve Redgrave chair in his honour. If you all need to, Charlie.